played games this week in the desert. Monday, the Nats scored 2 in the ninth to grab the lead and held on for a comeback win. Last night, Bronson Arroyo went the distance, scattering 7 hits to even the series. Doug Fister and Brandon McCarthy. It's the rubber match on getaway day in Phoenix. Going to be a different kind of day indoors here in Phoenix. It's really heating up outside. Roof's supposed to be closed. That means some fly balls might be flying, hi guys, that weren't flying last night. So they're rooting for the Nats to win the series. So are we. Still waiting for those May offensive flowers to bloom. The Nats have lost 7 of 10. The runs per game down, the batting average down, and with runners in scoring position, it's just not going very well. When the Nats can score 4, they're almost unbeatable. It just hasn't happened often enough. So, FP, a lot of this has to do with the injuries. You're talking about run producers, I mean big-time guys, not in this lineup right now.
Yeah, I mean, runs down in baseball in general. I mean, the batting average for all of baseball, 251. The on-base percentage, 318 in all of baseball. If the season ended today, those would be the lowest totals since 1972. But when you look what the Nats lineup is missing right now, this as Nationals, Ryan Zimmerman, 678 RBIs, Adam LaRoche, 198, Bryce Harper, 126. That's 1,002 combined RBIs as Nationals, not in the lineup today. When you look at the rest of the lineup, 821 RBI total. So, yeah, they're missing some thump. They're missing the big guys. But that being said, there's other ways to score runs, and you have to be creative, and maybe you get a little more aggressive offensively on the bases and do the little things to score some runs. Like you said, 4 runs or more, 16-1. So 4, the magic number.
The Nats once second, down to 6 in the league in batting average and 8th in runs. So they're facing Brandon McCarthy. I don't think you get him early. You kind of get him in the middle because he's been pretty good his first 3 or 4 innings every time out. Second or third time around the batting order, he's really struggled.
Well, last time out, he lasted just 3 1/3, and he gave up 7 runs on 9 hits. So I guess a good day for the offense to get better. Looks like Doug Fister's twin brother out there. They have very similar deliveries, very similar repertoires. He's 6'7", Doug Fister 6'8", and so a good day for the offense to get right, and a good day for Doug Fister to get that sinker down the zone.
Yeah, he didn't do that in Oakland. In a moment, a visit with Doug. Had a chance to sit down with him yesterday. He's a good guy to talk about with this ball club, and he loves talking about his teammates as well. Welcome back to Chase Field in Phoenix. Game 3 of the 3-game series. Getaway day for the Nats. And a chance to come home. But before that, Doug Fister will be on the mound for this one. Doug, first of all, I want to ask you, how amped were you when you took the mound in Oakland on Friday night? You had waited so long to pitch.
You know, it was a long time coming, being able to come back from injury. I was pretty excited, pretty, not emotional, but it's just a place that I come back to. It's almost home, just because of the fact that I've got friends and family showing there. It's near home. I was able to see my family at home, and so, I was ready to get out there and pitch.
While the results weren't the best for you in the ball club, how did you feel you threw the ball?
Results obviously weren't there, but overall, being healthy still and being able to go out there and know that, I made some good pitches, but there's also things I still need to work on. And, that next day, that next bullpen session was the time to work on that.
I was going to ask you about that next day because pitchers always tell me in a situation like this, you wake up the next morning, your first thought is, okay, how do I feel? So how did you feel?
No matter what, the day after I throw, I always feel like I got hit by a truck. So as long as I feel that way, things are okay. I'm okay with it.
So a different size truck on some days than others, huh?
Yeah. It depends if they backed up or not. But it's a good feeling to have.
Very nice. All right. So you see some of the young rotation arms, Steven, Jordan, Gio, Tanner Roark's been a revelation for the last year or so. How do you feel about being part of this group?
I'm very honored to be a part of this group. There's a lot of big-name guys that we have in this rotation, but guys are going out there and giving everything they got. That's the biggest thing. We've got a lot of talent. We've got a lot of experience with those guys, but yet they've got a lot of upside too. You look at Strasburg and what he's done in his career and what he has potential to do. You look at Gio and Tanner and Zim and everybody else, and it's just the opportunities are there. We just got to go out there and put them together.
We'll talk about the bullpen with you down the road after you hand the ball to them a couple times in the 8th and 9th innings. How about that?
Sounds good.
But the ball club as a whole, I remember when we met back at the Fan Fest, Nats Fest back in the winter, you were so excited about the potential of this ball club, despite the injuries. Do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, we've had some unfortunate injuries this year. A couple of our bigger name guys going out there with things that are keeping them out for a few weeks, but the guys are playing together well. They're playing hard-nosed baseball and going out there and putting together good at-bats, playing defense, and that's missing our stars. So, the big names. It's one of those things that, we can stay there, and when we get those guys back, it's going to even be better. But I still feel that we have a great team. I still feel that we have such a tremendous potential, not only because of the talent we have, but the chemistry that we have with one another. Everybody gets along very well. We communicate well on the mound with defenses and then the offense. It's contagious. You saw Franzen last night come out there and do the things that he does. And, it's always everybody's got a fire in their eye that they want to come out and play the game of baseball the right way.
Good job. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Doug Fister. The Nats are coming home after this one. And straight ahead, lineups and starting pitchers, defense, everything coming for you as the Nats wrap up the road trip in Arizona. Played differently than it did last night. When the wind was in here, it was playing very big, a lot bigger than the night before. So probably going back to what it was like Monday evening. Visit trainsurge.com. Find your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. And clear skies outside, sunny, and 88. They're going to be in the triple digits here in the next couple of days. Nats getting out just in time. Ian Desmond's been on base 17 of his last 18 ball games. Batting average still too low for his liking, I know, at .219. And the Nats need to gear it up offensively. They're coming home for 2.5 of the next 3 weeks. FP will bring you up to date on Brandon McCarthy in a moment. First of all, Denard Span, who's faced him 12 times. 4 base hits were underway right on time. 1240 here in the desert and 340 up on the East Coast.
It's a battle of the tall guys with sinkers today. Brandon McCarthy, fastball average is 93. Throws a cutter as well at 90. So he'll move his fastball both ways. Throws a curveball 25% of the time. And last time out, he got rocked 3 1/3 innings against the White Sox. Gave up 7 runs on 9 hits through just 64 pitches. So 2 tall right-handers today. Whoever keeps the ball down wins.
Run back fastball. Almost got the inside corner. Bill Miller had called 1 low strike and 1 high strike in this AB. Denard in the series 3 for 9. And he's hit almost .290 over the last week and a half. Close enough. He's hacking. He fouls it away. So Bill Miller is the crew chief. He's got the plate. Vic Carapazza, Adam Hamari, and Jim Reynolds. First, second, and third. Diamondbacks are 4-16 at home. The Nats have lost 6 of their last 7 road games. They're 9-10. Target in. Slide piece down and in. At this time a year ago, by the way, the Nats had 1 more win and 1 fewer loss than they do right now. They were 21-18. Different ball club, though, when they get everybody back. It's going to take a while. And Span will drill one out to the shortstop. Not hit that hard. And Chris Owings, no trouble getting up for that one.
I said the defense for the Diamondbacks behind McCarthy today. Ross, Pollock, Parra, your outfield. Owens, Prado left side. Hill, Goldschmidt right side. And Miguel Montero, day game after night game behind the dish.
Man, just looking over the numbers for Paul Goldschmidt. Might be the best hitter in the league right now. First in hits, doubles, extra base hits, multi-hit games, 7th in batting average and 7th in RBIs. What's the guy not doing for Arizona?
Well, he could bunt more. Probably.
They'll fine him if he does.
No kidding. No, we talked about it the first 2 games. He's going to hit for average because he uses the whole field. He takes what the game gives him. He's not one of those power hitters that just goes up there and yanks.
Well, we only got to see him 3 times last year before the last weekend of the season. Second in the MVP race, and I'm sold after what we're seeing him do on the heels of that.
Well, he just tipped his cap to you for all the compliments. Did you see that?
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Anthony Rendon, an RBI in the series, 2 for 9. And slumping just a bit, 9 for his last 45. Low by his standards. Brandon McCarthy, career 43-56. It's his 130th career start. And the Nats beat him 2-0 here in that last weekend last season. Although he went 7 innings, gave up just 5 hits and 2 runs. And a bouncer to the right side for Aaron Hill. 2 outs.
Well, this pitch right here that McCarthy just threw to Anthony Rendon is what Doug Fister wants to do to the Diamondbacks. And I said it at the outset. Whichever big, tall right-hander keeps the ball down wins. That's a good sinker right there for McCarthy. And Anthony Rendon commits. That ball's about mid-thigh high. He goes to swing. It's around his ankles. And all you can do is beat that one on the ground.
And then coming from a guy who's that tall, FP, it seems just like it's sinking a whole lot more than from a regular guy, 6'2", 6'3", 6 feet tall.
And just get that downward tilt. Get on top out in front and just let it work for you.
Jason Worth, couple of hits in the series, 1 in each game, infield variety last night. And you and I were talking about an hour ago. Not a great feeling. I don't even know if he knows about it. You wake up today and all of a sudden you're 0 for 1. They took a hit away from him from the home series against San Diego about 2 weeks ago. Also changed some earned runs.
Yeah, we didn't think it was a hit at the time. And you know me, I'm giving everybody a hit up here in my scorebook, but I think it was a 1-hopper to Jed Jerko at second base. He didn't get a glove on it. It led to some earned runs. And I thought at the time it would be changed. I thought at the time it was a generous hit for Jason Worth, and they did finally change it.
Yeah, that was in the first inning. It was in the game. Tanner Roark was able to throw so well, and this one is out to center. A.J. Pollock handles it, and that's it for the Nats in a very quick 1-2-3 first, and Doug Fister, his second game right now. Here today.
Looks like Drew signed that. Remember that old toy, the Spirograph?
Looked like it said Drew Storm to me. The Diamondbacks are fourth in the league in hitting and sixth in runs. Oh yeah, more on Paul Goldschmidt. Had a couple of hits last night. He's 3 for 8 with 3 RBIs in this series. He's the kind of guy that could contend for a triple crown because he hits for the high average, the power, and the RBIs. So Doug Fister, first game ever against Arizona, even though he's been in this part of the country for a long, long time. D-backs against him, first time ever.
Yeah, fastball averages 88 miles an hour. He'll sink it, he'll cut it. The curveball 73, the changeup 80. Occasional slider at 83, but he lives and dies with that two-seamer. If it's down the zone, it's really the only pitch he needs.
Only 2 D-backs in the lineup today have ever faced him, Aaron Hill and Cody Ross.
Yeah, second start for Doug. Waited around a month. Finally got on the mound in Oakland. Not the results he wanted, but got that one out of the way, and here we go.
Gets a ground ball, but it's well placed up the middle. Beyond his reach and beyond Espinosa's range.
Yeah, right back at him. So down the zone, good pitch. You get the ground ball, just fanned on it, and Espinosa, none chance. Base hit for Parra, leadoff man on. I don't know if that hard dirt in front of home plate bodes well for either pitcher today. You see that ball just kind of like a super ball, that first hop right off the dirt in front of home. When Greg Maddux used to pitch in Atlanta, they would make it like a sand trap at a golf course right in front of home plate. So everything you hit just died and went nowhere.
Ball 1 to Martin Prado. He's starting to warm up, 7 for his last 18. 3 of those hits in 9 at-bats in this series. In the air to center. Denard Span broke back a bit on that big swing, and now it's going to be Worth. Drops it. There's a play at second, and they get the force. No man's land for the base runner Gerardo Parra. That play only about 80 feet from him, and Worth goes 9-6 to throw him out.
You see everybody having a chat out there right now, trying to discuss who called it, who didn't. Denard Span broke back, and Jason Worth picked everybody up. And I think the best thing that happened for the Nationals on that play is that nobody crashed into each other. Danny Espinosa, a lot of range at second base, as Nats fans know. He's going to be aggressive and go out for this. And watch Span. Didn't really break back, just a perfectly placed ball. And I think Jason took his eye off it at the last second, thinking he was going to crash, stayed with it nice, and got the force out. So you exchanged 3 stolen bases in Parra for none in Prado. Might have been a good change.
Goes down as a fielder's choice for the hitter. And Paul Goldschmidt, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Facing Pfister for the first time.
Also a big play for a lot of reasons. If you're Doug Pfister, things didn't go well first outing. You get a chopper up the middle, then a blue pit, and you might start thinking, oh, geez. Got the force out at second. I got to get out a tough hitter.
Well, when he started that game on Friday, first inning was a problem. He got the first 2 guys. Then you might remember he threw the ball away on an infield hit, trying to get Josh Donaldson at first base, and then Brandon Moss drove him in, and suddenly the A's were on the board. Prado did draw a throw there. The count's 1 ball, 1 strike. That's a perfect pitch at the knees, outer half. Goldschmidt didn't like it. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
Yeah, having a little chat with Bill Miller right now, but talk about darting a spot. Like you said, perfect pitch. Yeah, I know it's early. I know he's only thrown a few pitches, but the sinker's sinking much better than it did last time out at Oakland already. It's got good late movement down the zone.
And he threw it by him. Doug Pfister with 89 for the strikeout. Second out, first inning. He had 2 Ks, no walks in his first time out.
But just kind of changes the eye level right there on Goldschmidt. Everything below his knees in the sequence, and then he goes belt tight. You see how late he is. Maybe sitting on off speed right there in a 2-strike count. But as a sinker ball guy, you can live down the zone. But as a hitter, if I'm seeing everything down all day long, and I just look down there and drop my barrel on it, I got a good chance of putting it in play hard somewhere, whether it's on the ground or on a line. If you change my eye level and you throw one occasionally belt high like that, now I can't just look down in the zone. I got to be ready for something belt high, and you go north and south with your sinker. It has a better effect. Just don't want it to be north all the time.
Miguel Montero, 2 for 8 in the series with 2 RBIs. D-backs catcher warming things up over the last month. After a slow start, he's hit .320 in 28 games. So they've got some things on the uptick, but they got off to such a horrendous start. It's going to take them a long, long time to get back around that 500 mark. 10 under right now, and 10 full games behind the Giants. Giants playing right now, by the way. Braves beat them last night, and Atlanta has 2 in the first at San Francisco. And a 2-1, and Doug Pfister, you love his work rate. Guys will like playing behind him because he works so fast.
Yeah, these guys right here, McLeod Span are worth the outfield today. Desmond Rendon left side, Espinosa Moore right side, and Jose Lobaton getting the nod behind the dish. Wilson Ramos with the day off.
Wilson get another day off tomorrow with the rest of the guys be fresh for the Mets. You could hear the groan by Miguel Montero all the way up here as he couldn't reach that one. And a good first inning for Pfister. The leadoff base hit doesn't hurt. and more, 4, 5, and 6 for the Nats. We invite you to check out something new at Nationals Park. You can enjoy a suite level season plan package in the new exclusive Gold Glove Club. The plan includes beverages, rotating ballpark fare on the menu, 202-675-NATS, or visit nationals.com/2014 for the Gold Glove Club.
Yeah, to get that season plan, you have to say that 5 times fast. And if you can do it, you get the plan.
And I heard you've already been turned down.
That's why you're reading the promo.
Here's Desmond, and Ian's in the cleanup spot today. Big early hit for the Nats last night. A ringing triple to the gap in right center brought in Wilson Ramos. And I don't know if it was an omen for the rest of the evening or not, but he was there with nobody out. And the Nats couldn't bring him in, and they would not score again that night. Hard hit. Chris Owings throws him out. 4 in a row, 2 ground balls for Brandon McCarthy.
Well, it's a good swing right there for me and Desmond, even though he's out. One hopper to shortstop, or a hard ground ball to shortstop. And like we said, the swing has been a little smoother, a little more easy. He's not over swinging anymore. So a home run in the first game of the series, and the triple you just talked about last night to put the Nats on top. So Ian Desmond seems to be heating up the approach much better here in Arizona.
And for some of the folks who might be watching today, because the Diamondbacks are not televising, wondering what was up with Ian Desmond throwing his helmet off. Well, he's the guy that takes off a teammate's helmet every time he hits a home run, and that time he just took off his own helmet, probably out of relief. It had been a while, and you know, nothing hot dog or show off about it, just something he does for his teammates, and he took off his own the other night.
Yeah, whenever I feel like I have a really good inning, I do that with my headset. Just take it off and throw it in the stands. So yeah, I get what he's doing. He's getting there, and he's a guy that can carry this ball club for a while once he gets hot. And it seems like it's the calm before the storm right now. But with everybody out, they need him. They need Espinosa. It's all hands on deck.
Maybe 2.5 weeks of home cooking coming up, with a 4-game visit to Pittsburgh in between. Will help a bunch of guys get things right in this offense. Matt Williams watching his ball club struggle a bit. 6th in the league in batting average, down to 8th in runs. Just 2 weeks ago, they were 2nd behind Colorado. Danny Espinosa, his bat went right over the head of Tyler Moore in the on-deck circle.
Look out.
On-deck circle, extremely close to home plate here. As close as any I can remember in all of baseball. Maybe 40 feet from home plate at the most.
AT Park, very similar, but yeah.
You just don't expect a bat from a left-hander to come back at that angle. Danny in the series 1 for 8 with that huge game-tying home run Monday night.
Leads the team in homers and leads the team in bunt hits, and the number is the same. 6 base hit bunts for Espinosa, 6 home runs for Espinosa. And we did the math before the game. He hit 185 without his base hit bunt. So just goes to show you how valuable the bunt is. A big part of his game.
Diamondbacks playing back as he has 2 strikes on him. That's a fastball that's going to bust him on the inside corner. Brandon McCarthy looking like he did early in his last start in Chicago.
Well, that's the battle when you face McCarthy. Is he going to sink the front hip fastball, or is he going to cut it? Sometimes he'll throw it in there and cut it even further in. And this time he goes with the front hip come back 2-seamer for strike 3. They do the same thing and cut it.
Crazy what he did in Chicago. Retired the first 9 guys, and then before he got another out, he had given up 7 runs on 9 hits. Now that's a bad 4th inning. Tyler Moore having a good series. 2 hits, a walk, a home run. 4 of his 8 hits this year for extra bases. Goes down and gets that one. It'll be cut off by Martin Prado. Brandon McCarthy looking good. 6 in a row. 3 ground ball outs to start the game.
Here at Chase Field, Jose Lobaton is behind the plate today for Doug Fister's second start as a National. Lobaton didn't catch either of Doug Fister's spring training outings, and he didn't catch his Nationals debut either. So I talked to Lobaton today and asked him how he prepped for this outing and how he was going to be able to get on the same page as the Nats right-hander. Lobaton told me that he kind of picked Wilson Ramos's brain a little bit coming into today to get some maybe tips on how to attack the Diamondbacks hitters. But he said more than that, working with Fister in the bullpen before the game would be crucial. There he'd be able to get a feel for how his two-seamers playing, how his off-speed stuff worked, and that would kind of dictate how he would go after these hitters. So, you know, you can prep as much as you want, guys, but Lobaton told me that you kind of need to be behind the plate and see the pitcher have that ball coming towards you in the bullpen session to really get a feel for how things are working.
Working pretty well so far. And that's AFCEA with our sideline report, the Association for Global Security Professionals.
Well, if the two-seamer's working, it's all he has to do is put down number one and wiggle it a little bit. Not that hard. But if you've never caught a guy before, the movement, the release point, all that, just like a hitter facing a guy for the first time, now you're on the other end catching him. I think it would be a bigger challenge for Lobaton if Doug Fister threw 97. But the fact that he throws in the upper 80s, it's not going to rush you as a catcher. And it's all you have to do is see the movement and get a feel for that.
1-2 to Aaron Hill, who's had a very good series, 4 for 8. Count back even. That hit is a home run in 7 ABs. Breaking ball away, and he got the bat around it to hook it into left field. And Aaron Hill continues to hurt the Nats with 5 hits in this series.
Such a tough out. A guy's going to give you a good at-bat every single time up there, whether it ends in a hit or not. Just a feisty hitter, a gamer, a guy that has a lot of pop for a little guy. And right there, got something out over the plate. And when you're a sinker ball guy, a ground ball guy like Doug Fister, you're at the mercy of the ball at somebody, or isn't it?
And here's Cody Ross, 0 for 1 career against the Nats right-hander. Warming things up a bit, 6 for his last 18. Started the series in left field last night, went 0 for 3 on 2 grounders around a strikeout against Steven Strasburg, who pitched well enough to win a game last night. Busted him inside with that sink, 88. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, pretty good movement. Starts it down the middle, runs it up under Cody Ross's hands.
And for your own preservation, I think sometimes you're better off missing that than fouling it right into your body. He looks sharp so far, 89 at the knees.
A lot of heaters.
And you made an interesting observation over the last couple of weeks. Jose Lobaton, former American League guy, calls a lot of breaking balls and off-speed stuff, but you got to go with the pitcher's repertoire, so he won't be able to do that today. He's going to go with what works best for Fister, fastball, keeping it down. As FP takes his index finger and pounds it against the table, signaling the number 1 all day.
Throw it. Trust it. Let it work for you. Like that.
Strike him out. His 3rd. Cody Ross knew it, walked away quickly, 1 down. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
It seemed like Cody Ross was in between that whole at-bat, meaning he was looking for something else. Second pitch right where he wanted. Second strike, I should say, right where he wanted. That one right down the middle, maybe thinking too much. And Doug Fister staying with the fastball. Yeah, there was times when Chen Ming Wang, in his heyday in New York, would throw 98% fastball when he had that sinker working. We never really saw that in D.C., but when he was good, that's the only pitch he needed. And I think the same holds true with Fister. If he gets on top of that thing and lets it eat for him down in the zone, he really doesn't need anything else. Just move it around.
Center fielder A.J. Pollock, a homer, 2 RBIs, 3 hits in this series, and Fister's been a strike thrower in this one. So Doug just faced the 2 Diamondbacks who faced him before. A couple of others on the bench in Eric Chavez and Cliff Pennington. And a bouncing ball deep short. Desmond Trying to throw it over to Espinosa. That'll be his 10th error of the year. Doubtful a double play ball, but they should have had the lead runner.
That's the first time we've seen visible frustration from Ian Desmond after he makes an error, and he looked at Doug Fister and said, "Let's go, I'll pick you up next time." But you know, that's a play where maybe he's thinking 2 instead of just get the force out. Off the bat, that wasn't a double play ball. We've seen Pollock in this series cover so much ground in center field. He can absolutely fly. So instead of being in a hurry right there, just take your time, get the force out at second base, because you're not going to turn 2 on Pollock. Easy to say up here when everything's moving slow. Game moves fast down there.
First and second, 1 out. Chris Owings, the shortstop. So a bouncing ball that got through, and a bouncing ball that was dropped on an attempted throw. Perfect pitch inside corner.
I think Doug Fister knows he's got his good sinker going today, but watch this. I got you right here. He's talking about coverage on a double play, and Ian Desmond acknowledging, saying, "Okay, let's go. Give me another chance right now." It's a good miss.
Owings had been hot until the Nats got here. He's hit into 2 double play balls this year. That's a high fastball. 3-1. Pitcher on deck.
Tyler Moore just switched gloves with, I think, Kevin Franzen in the dugout. Franzen ran out, threw him that glove he's got on right now. He threw a black one back. I think that's his 3-1 glove. He goes by the count.
There's a chopper. Third base. And because it's slow, Rendon will just take the lead runner.
Smart play. Don't try to do too much. You know the pitcher's coming up. Brandon McCarthy, a decent hitter, 0.67 this year, but he's going to swing it right now. Don't try to make a spectacular double play. Take what the game gives you and just get the out. Nicely done. It's a simple thing, but you know what? With the way things are going defensively this year for this ball club, simple things are big things.
Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt's on deck. Maybe you play that a little differently. But you don't want to be throwing the ball all over the yard here. McCarthy 1 for 15 this year, strike 1. In his career, he's 2 for 61.
Like I said, he can hit.
Covering all the bases here, aren't you?
Yeah, not the best analyst for nothing.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You know who can hit, and the Nats fans haven't seen yet, is Doug Fister. First game, American League game. He can swing it. Former first baseman, Fresno State University, puts on a nice little show in batting practice every day.
267 career hitter. He's one of those strange right-handers that bats left-handed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball, McCarthy way late.
Stand back, trying to go the other way.
That did look to me like that was his on-deck circle swing.
Jason Worth has a chance to throw him out first base. He's playing so shallow and right. And that's
Hanging
where, as a
tough.
right fielder, Carp, you tell your first baseman, you whistle, say, hey, if I get something, go to the bag. 1 hopper to me. So Jason Worth, very shallow.
Well, he already has 1 assist on an infield play in the game. Why not another? But we'd rather see Fister just take care of the hitter himself. 9-6 on a pop fly that fell in last inning. Brandon McCarthy, 30 years of age, 6'7", 200. D-backs signed him as a free agent prior to last season. He went 5-11 in 22 starts. He gets the bat on the ball, and Tyler Moore will go to the bag himself with that nice new mitt of his.
Yeah, other one. I don't know if he'd have made the play.
D-backs lead too. It's a gorgeous day outside. It's 78 inside. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by the DC Lottery. The DC Lottery presents the Friday Fun Concert Series at the Fairgrounds. 2 hours pre and post game each Friday. It's fun to play the DC Lottery.
Yeah, the Expo makes everything look good. I mean, look at that. It's a broom on the grass, and it's awesome. All right, we talked about the similarities between both pitchers today. And we're going to show you right here with a little split screen action. That is Doug McCarthy on the left and Brandon Pfister on the right. Look at this. I mean, how much do they look like each other? Same delivery, maybe a little bigger turn for Pfister. Obviously, I was joking, switching the first names, but very similar repertoires. 167, 168. That's good stuff, guys. Way to go. Twins.
Well, this time Pfister gets to bat against McCarthy after Lobaton and McLeod. Top of the third. Jose Lobaton in the lineup for the first time since Sunday in Oakland, when he singled in his last at bat and went 1 for 3.
The difference is McCarthy's on the first base side of the rubber and Pfister on the third base side of the rubber. Just creating different angles for their different pitches, but I mean, the tempo of their windup very similar. Pfister with a little more shoulder turn.
91 again. First one was center cut. Jose couldn't reach it. That one appeared to have a little cut to it. It was inside corner. Mercedes-Benz will watch it.
No, that's the cutter. And he'll sink it in there too. So obviously the book on Lobaton has pounded him in.
Jose Lobaton 0 for 2 career against McCarthy. One of 4 Nats in the lineup who have faced him. Good take on a pitch down and away. 94.
So when you talk about offense in Major League Baseball this year, there's a great article in the USA Today yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, Cart, but it talked about how in baseball right now the average overall is 251. The on-base percentage overall is 318. And if that would last till the end of the season, that would be the lowest total since 1972.
That's right before the DH came in.
Big
curveball.
They're talking about all the shifts and how there's so much technology and how, you know, teams are always in the right spot. How everybody has somebody that throws 95 plus. I mean, there's so many stats and graphics and information now that it's just really tough to get a hit. And the 0.90 home runs per game, that's the lowest since 1993. But you're talking about guys with cutters and splits.
And then against certain teams, if the starter's gone after 6 or 7, you're facing fresh arms who come out throwing 95 at the end of ball games. Nobody mops up on relievers anymore unless it's a blowout and you're facing some of the pitch when behind guys on the other team. Nate McLeod pulls it right side. Aaron Hill stabs it, squares up and throws out the speedy Nate McLeod. Well, 8 in a row now to start the game.
10 years ago, 1% of major league pitchers threw a cutter. Now it's almost 6%. In 2011. So I mean, guys are just using different pitches. And the swing and miss rate right now is incredible. 20% of hitters are striking out.
Doug Fister, 4 for 15 career. Couple of RBIs. 3 sacrifice bunts. And he lays off the high fastball.
And then so if offense is down and you're missing your 3 big guns, I mean, go figure. It's going to be a scuffle every night to score runs for this ball club until the big boys get back. It's a good hack.
So he's got a nice swing. That was a long inning for Doug. 24 pitches against 5 hitters. McCarthy cruising early, but the D-backs have seen this before. 2-2 now.
Fister, American League guy. He's got all the mannerisms, the actions. Pretty good hack going.
There are American League mannerisms out there?
No, just I mean, he looks like a hitter.
Oh, okay.
That's my point. Look at him.
He'll bounce it up the middle. Slow roller. Owings. Fister hustling. He's out by a step. 6-3 ground balls from McCarthy so far. Pretty good matchup right now. And the big guys waiting for their race.
Full downtown Denver as we head back to Phoenix. No scores. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Check out some Ks from Doug Fister. When you think of Fister, you think of ground ball outs, but today he's got the strikeout stuff going. 3 Ks already in this game. The first one, Paul Goldschmidt, went 2-seamer in. Then it looked like a slider that didn't do a whole lot to Miguel Montero, but Doug Fister striking out some D-backs here in the desert. Now it's time for Toyota's K's for Kids. The D.C. area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by Nats pitcher this season.
Gerardo Parra base it up the middle first time. Just a little bit high, bottom of the third underway. So Pfister has 3 ground ball outs. 5 for McCarthy. That's perfect on the inside corner. Thing I've noticed about these guys, Pfister's 89, McCarthy's 91. They play a lot faster because of the way these guys bring the ball in and how very tall they are. And Parra now, after going 1 for 9 in the first 2 games, 2 consecutive hits today.
Well, he got fisted off Pfister. A little cutter on the inner half. Did a nice job of pulling his hands in. Had the hands in the right slot. The ball elevated just enough for him to throw it to center field for a leadoff knock. Good piece of hitting.
Pretty good base runner, although the percentage not great this year. 3 for 6. Parra's averaged 10 to 15 stolen bases the last 3 years. Draws a throw. D-backs 23 steals in 32 attempts. 7th in the league in the total number of stolen bases. Oh, what a jump. Problem is the pitcher hadn't gone home yet. So it's 1-3-6 as Parra left too soon, thinking he was going on first movement.
It's a 1-3-6. Thank you very much. Leadoff man on. And when you talk about Parra in his career, last year 10 stolen bases, but he was caught 10 times. In 2012, 15 stolen bases, caught 9 times. Now this year 3 stolen bases, caught 4 times. So it's a guy that is telling Kirk Gibson he really doesn't know when to go, and that's the fastest way to lose the green light.
Martin Prado at the plate during all of that. First pitch, low. '89 with movement right in there. Counts even, 1-1. Wild first inning at San Francisco. We told you the Braves got 2. Giants jumped up and got 3. Only other National League game in progress right now. Mets are home tonight. They'll be in D.C. on Friday, and they're hosting the Yankees after beating them 2 in a row at Yankee Stadium.
USA Today, in that same, right below that same article I was talking to you about, has their weekly rankings. They have the Tigers first and the Giants second, and the A's third. Nats are 11th. They were 8 last week, so they dropped 3 slots.
Hard to argue with Oakland after what we saw over the weekend.
I think it's the best team the Nats have played this year by far.
That is nasty. Inside, diving under his hands. And Doug Pfister's 4th strikeout. 2 outs with Goldschmidt coming on.
Well, we told you it'd be a Doug Pfister. A different Doug Pfister next time out. And he was so amped up for his first start. Told Carp as much in the pregame interview. And I think now Nats fans for the first time are getting a taste of what this guy's all about. Strikeout stuff here today. Good pitch.
Goldschmidt struck out swinging first time. Great breaking ball from one corner to the other.
I mean, even though the stuff is plus, there's just a whole lot of things coming at you with Doug Pfister, right?
Look how quick that windup is.
Just elbows, kneecaps, shoulders.
That was not a bad curveball. Didn't get the call.
Arms. Just
boom, right into it.
Lots of stuff.
So that curveball makes that fastball play a lot harder than 90 right there.
But just moving it around. Not really staying in any quadrant right now. And you see the delivery. Kind of throws that front elbow at you, the glove at you, and here it comes. I'll tell you what makes it play harder, Card. You can talk about the off speed all you want. He's 6'8". He's closer to you than most pitchers when he lets go of the ball. There was a guy here in the desert that knew a little something about being close to you when you let go of it, Randy Johnson. Felt like he was throwing from 45 feet.
Goldschmidt gets jammed. Out in left center, and here comes Nate McLeod. So Doug Fister, very good start to this one. Denard Span, top of the order. Rendon and Worth to follow. Nats looking for a runner.
Niagara Falls as we head to the top of the fourth inning. Still no score from Phoenix. This season's Nats Live free postgame concert series will feature Plain White Tees on June 5th, Austin Mahone on July 19th, Martina McBride on August 16th. Don't miss out on seeing awesome performances at Nationals Park after watching the Nats win a ball game. Visit nats.com/natslive or call the number on your screen and get your ticket today. I see red people.
And they want to see somebody on base. Denard Span lined out to short first time. So 9 in a row by McCarthy to start the game. 5 of them on the ground, 2 strikeouts. A soft liner that Span hit and a fly ball by Worth. Span will go the other way and hit it pretty well. Cody Ross, though, back to grab it. 10 straight to start the game.
All right. We are going to make you famous. It's time to tweet your photo using hashtag #MASSonPhotos for a chance to have it shown in a future broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. We'll show it today. We'll give you new names and we'll tell you where you're from.
Rendon. Ground ball to second, first time up. Anthony's done his part. But since Ryan Zimmerman got hurt, in 30 starts, whoever's playing third base, and it's Rendon 90% of the time, hitting .269 with 3 home runs.
Well, if you missed it in the open of today's broadcast, that's what they're missing. That's as a national, Adam LaRoche with 198 RBIs. Obviously, the other 2 have played with the club their whole career. That's how many RBIs they're missing.
To Hopper, Aaron Hill.
And the rest of the league doesn't care.
Ryan Zimmerman, by the way, in 9 starts at third base, hitting .375 at the time he got hurt. Inside the numbers with Jeep, and with Bryce Harper injured, a lot of injuries to talk about. Look at what Jason Worth does without Bryce in the lineup. Picking up the slack at .359, on base .406, and slugging over .480. Brought to you by Jeep.
A little protection. You know, those guys complement each other so well. I'm sure Nats fans can recall 2012. If they both got on, the game was over. And Jason Worth was the leadoff hitter, and Bryce Harper was batting second. Hard to think back and picture Jason Worth as a leadoff hitter, right?
Yeah.
But he did such a good job in that role. He took his walks. He stole bases. Now a middle of the order guy that drives in runs.
Perfect fastball. May or may not have been a strike. He got the call from Bill Miller because Brandon McCarthy has been all over the strike zone here.
Both pitchers good work rates, throwing strikes. Umpires look for him when that's the case.
He did not hold up, says Vic Carapazza down at first base. So 12 in a row by McCarthy to start the game. Much different than his last time out.
Heading to the bottom of the fourth inning, no score, and Brandon McCarthy, Doug Fister, both doing their things out on the mound. And Doug Fister, in his second start as a National, has got it going on. He's got strikeout stuff today. He's also had good awareness of base runners. A lot of guys will throw that ball to plate. Fister steps off, and we got an old-fashioned pickle. Just a one-throw job. They did it nicely. And then watch this pitch to Prado. Maybe the best pitch of the day. Look at the movement on that sinker under his hands. Tough guy to strike out. So Doug Fister, much better this time out than the first time, and that's exactly what we thought would happen.
So the Geico highlights center around pitching, shutting down the opponents today. Fister back to work, and a high fastball fouled back by Miguel Montero. Bottom of the fourth upon us.
The reason I think it's important for Fister and even Brandon McCarthy to change the eye line of their sinkers is because you can get guys to chase up out of the strike zone when you're throwing everything down. Meaning, as a hitter, I'm saying I got to elevate Doug Fister. I got to get him up. If I'm a Nats hitter, I got to elevate Brandon McCarthy. I got to get him up. So if you throw it above the strike zone, you might get some chases because that's the game plan. You got to throw it higher than high there.
Yeah. This ball pops straight up. Jose Lobaton waiting for it for the first out. Pitch prior to that, he got that high curveball called for a strike, which he didn't earlier. Now that Bill Miller's seen it, Doug Fister working well with the umpire here as well.
Yeah, good point. Watch where Jose Lobaton throws his mask. And for you young catchers at home, don't set it down next to you. If he has to backpedal for this ball, he can actually trip over his helmet and his mask. Take that thing and wing it far away. Also take out an umpire with it too and act like you didn't mean to, but just get it out of your way so you don't trip on it. I've seen guys do that before. Backpedal, hit their mask, fall down, and the at-bat still continues.
Aaron Hill, base hit first time. Pfister throwing 88 upstairs, 2-0. When the Nats came to town, Aaron Hill was batting .252. And he's a click under .290 now. As mentioned last night, third best home run hitting second baseman in baseball over the last 5 years. Throw him a 3-0 cookie, he could hit it out. And it's 1-0 Arizona.
Well, he did just that. Got a 3-0 pitch, bell tie, and knew what to do with it. Very short, compact swing, puts the Diamondbacks up 1-0.
Three for 9 against Doug Pfister now with 2 home runs. That was Aaron Hill's 4th of the year. Cody Ross struck out looking first time up. Down to Rendon. Ball stayed down on that final hop. Anthony guns it over to Tyler Moore. 2 outs.
Good pitch right back in the strike zone. A little jammage for the out. I mean, you just hope that the national starters don't get into the I have to be perfect mode to where they feel like their offense isn't going to pick them up and that they can't afford to make a mistake. I mean, it's got to be disheartening to Pfister to look out there and see no hits from his ball club so far, but being the veteran that he is, he knows that if he keeps it right here, his ball club's going to bail him out, or he's hoping that his ball club bails him out.
Had the Nats 1 run in the last 13 innings of this series. Got one early last night, then shut down the rest of the way by Bronson Arroyo. After their late surge with the 2 home runs in the 9th inning Monday. Great run back on that fastball with the sink. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good looking pitch, just missed. Foul tip into the mid of Lobaton. So after 4 innings, both pitchers on their games today. The difference, a 3-0 swing by Aaron Hill, and the D-backs lead by 1. 1-0 D-backs on the Aaron Hill home run. 5th inning coming up. Desmond Espinosa more. Nats back home Friday night. Jonathan Neese, Tanner Roark. First 25,000 fans at all gates. Get the Ramos bobblehead presented by PNC Bank. And remember, if you take off the mask, don't lay it down next to you. Get your game tickets at 202. I was listening.
Yeah.
675 Nats over to nationals.com/tickets. Great giveaway Friday night.
There's a Buffalo.
Up the middle and digging is Desmond, and he would have beaten that out anyway, even with Aaron Hill. Had he fielded that ball cleanly.
So had to wait all the way to the 5th inning, but there goes the no-hitter. Ian Desmond right back up the middle, trying to answer the solo shot by Aaron Hill. Nice effort by Hill, but like you said, I don't think he was going to get Desmond. So leadoff man aboard here in the 5th for the Nats. First hit of the day.
And that's an infielder frantically trying to make a play to keep his guy from giving up a hit.
Yep.
Sometimes it works out. That time it didn't. And here's Danny Espinosa.
Well, this is a good time to bunt. And when you think about a one-run ball game and bunting for a hit right here, a lot of scorekeepers throughout baseball, even if you bunt for a hit in this situation and don't make it, will give you a sacrifice bunt. So it's almost like a free at bat. Go for the hit. You don't get it, they throw sacrifice up there 99% of the time.
Yeah.
It's a win-win. I used to do it every chance I had.
In fact, I think it's 100% of the time now. I don't remember any scorer in the last 10 to 20 years taking a sacrifice away from a guy, even when everybody knew he was bunting for a hit.
Right.
They have that discretion, but they don't do it.
And we also talked about at the outset of the ball game today, when you're having trouble scoring runs, be creative and find ways to manufacture them. Whether it's a stolen base, whether you're thinking, hey, it's a curveball count right here. He likes to bounce the curveball. I'm looking for a ball in the dirt. Sacrifice bunts, hit and runs, whatever.
Espinosa can't catch up. I think Danny has been made aware of that fastball under his hands by McCarthy. So when he saw something away he thought he could do something with, he was hacking. Now he's got to protect that inside. They've been busting Danny inside. Target way out there. Unreachable. Espinosa strikes out twice today, twice last night. It's number 4 on Brandon McCarthy. Let's go down to Dan for more from the dugout.
Guys, you talk about the Nats wanting to be able to manufacture runs and kind of push one run across when the long balls and the extra base hits aren't there. That was something that Matt Williams mentioned all the way back to spring training, the early days, that he wanted to be able to do that. He wanted to put runners in motion, to move guys over with bunts, to try and manufacture runs when the hits aren't really coming in bulk. So that's something that the Nats have wanted to do, and now they need to kind of put it into practice.
But there are certain hitters, FP, you got to be careful doing that. You've got to have guys making contact to make those good things happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that have to line up to play small ball and hit and runs. Got to be a strike thrower, a guy that can handle the bat, a good runner on first base, get into a count.
Tyler Moore, good idea of a breaking ball, and it's 2-0. So look out here, dangerous count to a big, strong right-handed hitter who's already hit one a mile in this ballpark. Breaking ball in there. 2-1.
We've done that a few times today behind the count, throwing the curveball over for a strike. Not a lot on it, but just a get me over curveball when you're sitting dead red is all you need. Good pitch.
Perfect on the Nissan pitch track. Then he comes back with the fastball. I'm sure Tyler was betting fastball on 2-0. And then McCarthy went backwards on him.
Nice. Looking fastball right there. He just painted it.
Yes, he did.
Started it off the plate and brought it back.
Close enough. He got a piece of it. How about a whole team on our PNC minor league report? PNC Bank for the achiever in you. Those kids who were together down in Florida last year are all at A-Ball Hagerstown now. 28-9. So look out, Potomac. They're headed your way next year. PNAT's promos will take on a whole different meaning next year, as those kids continue to go up the ladder together after all that domination last season as rookies.
When did they get into DC?
About 2016 or so. Tyler Moore busted bat. Is he strong enough? No, didn't get enough of it to get it into the outfield. And Chris Owings with the grab, 2 outs. That'll bring in Lobaton.
When you talk to pitchers and they face a ball club with a lineup that's formidable, when you have presence in the hole, 3 hitters away, on deck, you know where those guys are. You're always aware of the presence, whether it's a Bryce Harper, an Adam LaRoche, a Ryan Zimmerman. When you don't have those guys, and no offense to the guys in the lineup right now, they're very adequate Major League Baseball players, but they're not game changers like a Bryce Harper or Adam LaRoche. So what do you do as a pitcher when you're not really worried about that guy 2, 3, 4 hitters away? You're free and easy. You're out there just throwing your pitches. You're relaxed. I've talked to many Major League pitchers that said they always knew where so-and-so was, whether it be a Barry Bonds or whoever, to where now you're kind of worried about the guy in the box because you know he's coming. You know he's right around the corner, and you know that the game changer is lurking, so it affects the way you pitch 2, 3 hitters in front of that guy. And if you don't have those game changers, or 3 of them, now you're facing the Nats. Maybe you're a little more free and easy out there with less to worry about.
And a ball fading outside at 93. We've seen McCarthy top out at 94 today. He's gone 7-7 and just 3 1/3 in his last 3 starts. So maybe only throwing those 64 pitches in Chicago have him strong for this one today. Lobaton, a good take again, 2-1. Jose's hit safely in 8 of his last 11 games, although his playing time now has been spaced out because of the Ramos return. But he is 13 for his last 40. And that fastball at 92 right by him. Counts even, 2-2.
He's got such a good rhythm going right now, McCarthy does. All of his pitches for strikes, moving everything around, in and out, up, down, cutter, sinker. But he's also getting a rhythm with his cadence to first base, and he's coming set 1001, 1002. Desmond has a chance to steal here, even though he's pretty quick to the plate.
Lobaton late, and the Nats are gone in the 5th. Leadoff single by Ian Desmond, the total of the offense today.
don't think we can keep score for you during the game.
I don't think I could stand up for 3 hours after having some of those.
Fans, follow every Nationals game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Fans, get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, and more. Download on the App Store. Visit Nationals.com for all your needs.
Owings, McCarthy, and Parra. Bottom of the 5th for Arizona. A ball cap full of autographs. Looking for more. Owings bounced out first time up. One of 4 ground ball outs by Doug Fister today. 68 pitches now, 41 strikes as he starts his 5th inning. 1-3-0 count got him in trouble, and then Aaron Hill unleashed a home run. That's a great pitch. It's a ground ball to the left side waiting to happen right there.
Yeah, 2-seamer down and in. Good frame by Ramos.
Follows it up with a breaking ball, had him reaching. Ian Desmond, close and out. Wow, did Chris Owings get down the line. And Ian Desmond didn't do a whole lot to hesitate there either. That's a guy 3 for his last 25 trying to steal a hit.
Well, it's just hustling down the line, and Ian Desmond kind of takes his time, chopping his steps, gets rid of it quick with something on it as he realized the speed of the runner, and it just gets Chris Owings, whose style of play, defense, and all-around game has been very impressive here the last 3 games. I'm a fan.
How about that game he had here Monday night? So here's McCarthy, bounced out to Tyler Moore first time. And even a guy 6'7", that's a strike at the knees. 1-1.
Might have to stretch pitch track a little bit if we show it right here. Long ways. Same goes for Fister, but he's got a little crouch going in his left-handed stance. McCarthy straight up. He's presenting a huge strike zone.
Three and one.
That always boggles my mind when I see pitchers hitting 067 swing away on 3-1. You would think it would be an automatic take count, just banking on a ball.
Up the middle. Bronson Arroyo had 2 hits last night. Josh Colmenter had a double on Monday night. And some of the Nats pitchers have had a hard time with the number 9 spot in the Arizona order.
Well, just another ground ball. This time right up the middle. Maybe a little elevation in it. Doug Fister trying to get it with a bare hand. That's not a good idea. Just a natural reaction. Another ground ball single for the D-backs, or 5th of the game. 5th hit. 1 tater.
1 hit in every inning. Top of the order, Gerardo Parra, who's 2 for 2 today. He's had an adventurous time on the bases. First time he was forced out at second on a fly ball off the glove of Worth and right. Next time he got picked off. Tough guy to double up. Has hit into 2 this year, and that's skied to left. It'll back up Nate McLouth. 2 down.
Well, the good news is that Parra was on base twice. And the bad news was that Parra was on base twice. This weekend, Masson has celebrated its first social media weekend of the season at the fairgrounds. All weekend long, Masson will be on site rewarding fans with great prizes. So visit Masson Nationals on Facebook and follow at Masson Nationals on Twitter to learn how you can win. That fairgrounds, it's a rowdy place after the game, from what I understand.
From what you understand?
Yes. No, I've never been over there.
Coco tell you?
I just heard I might not make it out alive. No, Masson Dan didn't tell me.
He knows everything that's going on.
He's excited to get home. You know why?
More suits.
He's missing his suits. They're going to be so happy to see him tonight when he gets home.
No balls and 2 strikes. All right, Mr. Fashion, how many sport coats or suits did you bring on this trip?
6 games, 6 suits, baby.
I'm an every other day kind of guy, I have to admit. 3 coats, but about 8 different combinations.
Yes, and Dan's a gamer.
And the 0-2, look at that curve ball up. Martin Prado is going to have to retie his shoelaces after that. Strikeout number 6. We're going to the 6th. Pfister and McCarthy matching up almost pitch for pitch. Legends, Louis Gonzalez, Randy Johnson, Matt Williams, Mark Grace.
The Randy Johnson one is life-size, by the way.
By the way, the injured presidents after they took tumbles last night waiting for the guys. And it is bloody in the desert right now. Come on, guys, let's get out of here. Randy Johnson's going to win the race. And it dawned on me while I was watching that, FP, somebody with a master's degree in sports marketing came up with that.
Yeah, good call. Looked like that Reds Cardinals brawl against the backstop a couple years back.
Yeah, but this one was for real.
Yeah, that was so real.
McLeod, Pfister, and Span.
There's Matty. Looks just like Matt Williams, doesn't it? Dead on.
Matt said, there's no way they're going to let my guy win a race while I'm in town.
It's not even close.
It's horrible. That tells me it's rigged.
There goes Matt. He loses again. He's feeling shame.
Nate McLeod bounced out to second base. 66 pitches, 46 strikes for Brandon McCarthy through 5. Plus 1 pitch. McLeod to Hopper. Backhand. A hop on Owings. We'll see how they score it. And the Nats have their second base runner.
Well,
E6.
It's an error by Owings. And the Nats have the tying run aboard here to lead off the 6th inning. But that's a good at-bat by Nate McLeod. Matt Williams said yesterday he wants Nate to start getting on top of the baseball and hitting on the ground. So when you hit the ball hard on the ground, you have a chance to get on. If that's a fly ball to left field, McLeod is out. And he's done that a lot this year. So even though he hit the ball right to the shortstop, he's getting on top, and that's a good sign.
Runner's going, and a good jump. McLeod is safe. He can fly, and he was off and running with Pfister looking to bunt. Strike 1. And Nate McLeod, his first steal as a Nat after swiping 30 with Baltimore last year.
But we talk about it all the time. McLeod, the guy that's going to study video on every pitcher. Watch the jump he gets right here. I love the fact that Pfister had the early turn sacrifice bunt. So showing early made Brandon McCarthy throw the ball to the plate. A lot of times teams will pick over in a bunt situation to see if he's bunting. But Pfister got out there early. McCarthy threw the pitch, and McLeod, in essence, a leadoff double. Now it's up to Pfister to get him to third.
And he did take a stab at that. Strike 2.
Got to get him there. This is a huge at-bat in this ball game.
Fister 3 career sacrifice bunts.
Trying to elevate.
He keeps it fair. That's perfect. That was outstanding. And McLeod easily to third base with one out.
That was huge with 2 strikes. Nice job, Doug Fister. And you should get some high fives in your dugout. 2 strikes. Your second at bat of the season. A 1-run ball game. And you bunt what was basically a pitch out. Watch how far he reaches for this ball. And it's perfect right down the line. And I was watching on the monitor, and I thought for sure that ball was fouled. Looked up, and it was a perfect bunt. Now McLeod to third with 1 out.
Yeah,
that's big.
Stayed on the grass all the way down there, and Prado couldn't afford to let it roll any further. So here's Denard Span, infield in, looking to lift one, and he doesn't. 1 hop right at Hill, 2 outs. Well, the Nats might have cost themselves a ball game last night by not bringing in a runner from third with nobody out. And the box score is empty except for Desmond's scratch single leading off the 5th. And McLeod reaching and stealing a base here in the 6th. It's up to Rendon with 2 outs.
Well, we talked about it a couple of days ago. When you're depleted, you have to do all the little things perfect. And that's getting bunts down, picking up runners with less than 2 outs, making every play on defense, doing the little things. And right there, Denard Span didn't get the job done. Now it's up to Rendon to pick him up.
Offered at it, no appeal, ball 1. Anthony's tried to go the other way twice. 2 ground balls to Aaron Hill. And you know they don't want to face Worth in this situation. Although Rendon's been one of the Nats' best this year with runners in scoring position. 2-0, jumps back from a relatively easy take.
I'll say green light. Why not? Brandon McCarthy's been shaving the corners all day. He's definitely in command of this game. This may be the best pitch that Rendon sees in the whole sequence right here, right now.
He was taking on 93, inner half. Rendon, 5 home runs, 24 batted in this year.
That's a pitch right there that Anthony was not missing a couple of weeks ago. Laid on the fastball, fouled it off. And look at the pitch right here, the location right down the middle. And just pulled off a hair.
Three-two now. Breaking ball, right side. It is fielded by Hill. In, out at first.
What a play, are you kidding me?
Amazing range by Aaron Hill to keep the Nats off the board.
I mean, this ball was ticketed for right field all the way. Aaron Hill selling out, doesn't have time to get to his feet. He throws out Rendon by a step. What a play. up with an amazing play, and even picking up your shortstop who started the inning with an error. 1-0 ball game, 2 outs. Look at this play by Aaron Hill. I mean, that ball was past him. He dove straight toward right field. And it looked like a perfectly placed C9 single to tie this game up. And Aaron Hill said, "Not so fast, Anthony Rendon," and preserve the 1-run lead. Clutch play again by the Diamondbacks on defense. They made a bunch in the series.
Bottom of the 6th, Paul Goldschmidt. Pfister has struck him out in the 1st and got him on a fly ball to left field in the 3rd. Dangerous count here to a power RBI guy. And he runs that fastball. Actually a changeup there. 82 right back to the outside corner. Let's go inside the numbers with Jeep. Extra base hit leaders in the National League, right there with Tulowitzki, the big guy Stanton, Gomez, and Utley. Anthony Rendon's been stuck on 18 extra base hits for several days. Three balls, 1 strike.
Shook the fastball to the changeup, and it was a beauty right there in a 3-1 count.
Yeah, 2-0 changeup, 3-1 changeup. Fastball, and Espinosa had him played up the middle. Good execution after good scouting by the Nats. Arizona box score. They've had a hit in each inning, but the big blow, the 3-0 count with 1 out to Aaron Hill, the star of the game right now, and he homered right down the left field line with 1 out in the 4th.
He's doing it all.
That was Doug Pfister's 6th ground ball out of the game. Faces Miguel Montero, who has struck out and popped up, and that's a fastball tracking inside. Got him on the upper right thigh hip area, and he tries to run it off.
See the reaction from Montero right there, his tongue out going to first. That does not feel good. He tried to play it off, and you never want to let a pitcher know that it hurt, but it got him right in the side of the quad. Throws the bat. Let's hear it. And watch the reaction right here. Funny, but not funny.
Aaron Hill, he's 2 for 2 today. He's taken a run away from the Nats. So it's about time he does something like ground into a double play. Oh, come on.
Well, you just call Aaron Hill's at-bats the rest of the year. I mean, I'm going to make you do it the rest of this game, that's for sure.
I'm going for a stroll. See you in a half inning.
feels right now a little bit.
That's a guy who used to be in the mascot costume right there. Few too many collisions along the way. Top of the 7th inning. Still a 1-0 game. Worth, Desmond, Espinosa. Jason has flied to center and struck out swinging. By the way, McCarthy is now racked up 9 ground ball outs, all 3 in the 6th. Worth, fastball up.
And there's also that tendency as an offense when you're not going good of trying to do too much.
He jacks one to left center. It is a game-tying home run. Number 5 for Jason Worth.
That's not too much. So one swing at the bat and we start this one all over again. 5th home run of the year for Jason Worth. He's got some attitude. And some Masson working too. Kevin Franzen goes helmet taker offer guy because Ian Desmond's in the batter's box. But a missile from Jason Worth to left center ties this game up.
Well, the Nats haven't strung hits together, but they've used the long ball effectively. And Desmond trying to go ahead 2-1. He was making up his mind to hack.
Like I said right before the pitch, try to do too much, and Jason Worth did. Line drive to left center field. And that ball was absolutely kissed.
Yeah, that was a double to the gap swing, and he got all of it. So your point's well taken. Worth 5th of the year, 175th of his career. 0-2 to Ian Desmond, who's 1 for 2. Big curveball, can't reach it. Strikeout number 6 for Brandon McCarthy, who's now given up 9 home runs this year.
Let's check it out one more time. Jason Worth leading off the 7th, 3rd pitch of the at-bat, and just it looked like an elevated slider right there that he caught out front. Maybe a cut fastball, but left this place going 106.
Have you noticed the speeds coming off the bat a little faster in this ballpark? I mean, almost every home run has been well over 100.
Air thinner. Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Go with it.
Yeah.
At least, maybe.
Yeah. Mike Rizzo told us this morning when the roof's closed, even when some panels are open here and there in this ballpark, it'll fly. And the roof is closed today. It was windy, and this place played like the south rim of the Grand Canyon last night.
1,090 feet is the elevation here.
And they used to call Atlanta the launching pad.
And it's just right off the top of my head. Coors Field, 5,280 feet, obviously. But Turner Field, 1,050 feet above sea level. I bet you didn't know that.
Well, and that was the highest in baseball until Colorado got an expansion team.
Like I said,
Atlanta was called the launching pad.
Like I said, I bet you knew that.
I didn't know the exact elevation. Danny Espinosa looking for contact. He's having a rough series. 1 for 10. Other than that one swing that led to a game being won here Monday night. That's right to the second baseman, Aaron Hill. 2 outs.
All right, folks, the 2014 Patriotic Series presented by SAIC will begin with Armed Forces Day this Saturday, May 17th at 4:05 p.m. The Nationals will offer members of the military complimentary tickets. You can get your complimentary tickets at the Grand Staircase box office near the first base gate. That's beginning at 12:30 p.m. With your military ID, you get 2 tickets per ID. So it's first come, first served basis while supplies last. And that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Here's Tyler Moore.
Military, a couple of free tickets. That's awesome.
Tyler in the series, 2 for 8, home run, a walk. Good pitch, 93, sinkage under his hands. And the count 0-2. So McCarthy rallying after giving up that 2-0 pitch to Worth. It went about 400 to left center.
When we showed the split screen of the two pitchers early in this game, we really didn't know how similar this game would be.
Yeah.
2 solo home runs.
A 3-0 pitch and a 2-0 pitch.
2 guys that look like twins on the mound, and 2 solo home runs have been the story of this game. Both guys dealing.
Good take by Tyler Moore. Breaking ball was a strike for a while. Got him. Strikeout number 7. Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Pitchers delivering like twins. Hitters delivering like twins. Aaron Hill earlier. Jason Worth here in the top of the 7th. And in Phoenix. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
Summary, start this one all over again. Tied at 1. It's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington and Mercedes-Benz of Alexandria. The 2 starting pitchers have been the story, and 2 solo home runs have been the story.
Doug Fister, 91st pitch of the day. Strike number 57. He's thrown extremely well. Cody Ross has struck out and bounced out. Fister 8 ground ball outs, including all 3 last inning. And he's due to bat 3rd in the 8th, so we'll see how Matt Williams plays it based on how he's throwing. Good pick to cut it off by Rendon. And the rifle shot over to Tyler Moore, 1 out.
Well, if you're just getting home from work on the East Coast, you might have missed Aaron Hill on a 3-0 pitch. That made it 1-0 Diamondbacks. And then Jason Worth last inning tied it up. So that's all of the scoring in this game so far.
Nats have been out hit 5-2. Ian Desmond the other hit. A 5th inning leadoff single. Swing and a miss by A.J. Pollock. He's 0 for 2. So as Fister tires a little bit in this game, ground ball out after ground ball out, 4 in a row. And a 1-1 pitch. Right in there on the outer half. Changeup 81. Really used the changeup beautifully last inning against Paul Goldschmidt. Went after a trademark of his bat there. Aaron Barrett, and back obscured a bit, Ross Detweiler. He was actually the first one up a few moments ago. Lobaton, McLeod, and Pfister, the due-ups in the 8th. Off-speed pitch. Desmond backhand. Good pick. Strong throw. 2 outs.
As we promised you earlier in the game, we have an AT fan photo. And that is Helen and her son, little Sammy. They're from Manassas. Way to go, guys.
A little early Mother's Day celebration on the last homestand.
Like Sammy's little camouflage Nats hat. That's great. That was his name, but we're going with it.
Chris Owings 0 for 2 with a pair of ground balls. Pfister with another perfect changeup, dropping that thing to the outside edge. Pops him up right side. Over by the dugout. It's coming back. Lobaton has it. And if that's it for Doug Pfister, outstanding job today. 10 ground ball outs. 1 run on 100 pitches through 7. Jonathan Neese, 2-2, 7 starts, 2.17 ERA for the Mets. Tanner Roa, 2-1, 3.65. It'll be his 8th start. The Mets in for 3, the Reds in for 3. And after a short visit to the Berg, the Nats will be home for another week and a half. So make your plans around baseball for the next 2.5 weeks or so at Nationals Park. Nats Extra, Johnny and Ray. A half hour before Tanner takes the mound on Friday night. Hopefully he won't walk anybody. Pfister pretty efficient today. And every time the Nats draw a walk, it's $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. So 118 this year, almost $6,000 from Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield. They want each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Doug Pfister, 7 innings, a run on 5 hits, right at 100 pitches. Here's Lobaton lifting one in the air to right on the first pitch of the top of the 8th. So that's pitch number 94 from Brandon McCarthy. And we'll see if Pfister comes out on deck now as Nate McLeod heads for the batter's box.
I don't think Pfister's coming on deck, or he had already had a helmet on. Let's check out the Potomac Nationals, future stars of the Nats, best entertainment in Northern Virginia. You come to Fitzner Stadium, Woodbridge all summer long, where you can enjoy fireworks, bobbleheads, cowboy monkey rodeo. Go to pnats.com or call 703-590-2311 for all of the details about monkeys and rodeos and stuff.
You can learn about a lot of things at the ballpark these days.
Yeah, and have nightmares for a month.
Nate McLeod takes a fastball away, 1-1. There's your answer about Doug Fister. Kevin Franzen to bat next for him. McLeod pulls it. 2 hops. Goldschmidt. 2 outs.
Well, I kind of know how Kevin Franzen thinks, and being around him since A-ball, and he's walking in the batter's box right now thinking, my pitcher pitched a whale of a game, and the only way he gets the W is if I go deep or get on and score. So you just hate to see Doug Fister with a no decision, and how well he pitched today. I mean, lights out. But Brandon McCarthy the same.
A 5-hitter, 1 run through 7. 10 outs on the ground. That's a strike to Franzen, who has not faced Brandon McCarthy before.
Told me the ball he hit last night was, he hit it better than the home run the first night.
Tough to lay off that pitch. Here's number 100 from McCarthy. %70 strikes. And a chopper right side of it gets by the pitcher. There's a chance. And Aaron Hill bowls it over to Paul Goldschmidt. He rolls a strike. And the Nats are gone in the top of the 8th. And hold on, Matt Williams is out of the dugout. In a moment, he'll turn the umpire toward his dugout as he talks about it with Vic Carapazza.
Excuse me, Carp, what hasn't Aaron Hill done today? I mean, just another great play, and we're not going to review it. That's it. Let's check it out one more time. And it looks like he was out when I saw it with the naked eye. Let's check it out right here on the replay. Oh, yeah, not even close. Franzen replay. I'm terrified of snakes. We're gonna look back at Kevin Franzen, and if he runs through right here, he might have been safe. You have to love the hustle and the desire for the base hit. But if you watch Franzen when he hits the dirt, he actually decelerates. So when you slide head first into first base, it slows you down. The friction of the dirt on your whole body actually makes you go slower. So You understand the desire for the hit and to get the go-ahead run on board. You love the hustle by Franzen, but you just wonder if he'd have ran through, might have been a little bit closer, or may he have been safe. Is the snake gone?
Tyler Clippard leads off for the Nats, and he'll face a leadoff pinch hitter. 20th game, 2.20 ERA. Lefty's hitting .280. Here's a dangerous one right here. It's Eric Chavez. Chavez has a pinch hitter, 1 for 13. 265 overall with a homer, 4 RBIs. And Eric Chavez is 2 RBIs short of 900 career. Great changeup by Clippard. Eric Chavez facing Tyler once career, and he was walked. So that finishes McCarthy a run on 2 hits, 101 pitches in 8 outstanding innings. Clippard's changeup is back, FP.
Yeah, 81 right there, inner half. And I like the changeup in because pitchers don't throw it enough. Hitters see it and they say, oh, that's a fastball. Because changeup's usually something that fades away. If you throw it on the inner half, I'm thinking it's a heater, especially when it looks just like your fastball.
Clippard jams him with 91. Danny Espinosa from the outfield grass. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by UPS Store. Tyler Clippard takes that call. And UPS, we love logistics. Top of the order, Gerardo Parra. Career against Clippard, 0 for 7. And you might have seen that sidewinder down in the Diamondbacks bullpen a moment ago. Brad Ziegler, who was untouchable here Monday night. Clippard just throwing change-ups at everybody for strikes now. And the fact that Addison Reed is not warming up in case they would take the lead means that Kirk Gibson wants Ziegler whether they're tied or whether it's a safe situation. The way that guy's thrown. None of us were sad to see him exit Monday night after the 8th. Tried to bolt that fastball to the inside corner and just missed.
That's a good miss for Clippard. You remember the struggles in April. He wasn't hitting the spots with his fastball. There was a lot of talk that maybe some teams knew what was coming, figured him out, but it was more about missing with the fastball location than any other thing you could possibly imagine. Now he seems to be hitting his spots with a heater, and that's the most important thing for him. Everybody thinks about the changeup, but his fastball and the command of it is what he lives and dies with. The changeup's just fun to talk about.
3-1 pitch. Gets the high strike to the outer edge. Nissan will track it.
Maybe a high strike right here. Let's see what pitch track thinks. He's got it in the zone. Not a problem.
Payoff pitch with 1 out. And he stayed with the fastball there.
Well, I think if he wouldn't have thrown that last changeup so short in the dirt that he would think about throwing it right here 3-2. I don't know that they will. Let's see what they decide on. Two shakes to the changeup.
Throws it for a strike, and Parra is out ahead of it. 2 outs.
As a pitcher, you have to be committed to the pitch you're throwing. The catcher really just suggests pitches, And right there, Lobaton suggested fastball away. He suggested fastball in. Clippard shook both of them to the pitch that he was fully committed to, the 3-2 changeup, and he threw it with commitment. Nicely done.
Now their closer, Addison Reed, is up and throwing. Martin Prado is 1 for 19 career against Tyler Clippard, but it's a home run. That's a fastball upstairs.
Showing confidence. I mean, I like that. Some guys get out there and say, oh, well, you're calling this pitch and I'm going to throw it because you know and you got a better idea. No, you've got to be committed 100% to the pitch you're throwing. It's your game.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
1-1. And the changeup floating down and in. 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's telling you right there. He's telling himself, keep my hands inside the baseball. You saw that swing without the bat in his hand with his top hand. He's thinking right field.
Had to try to pull that one. It was so far in. And the count. 2-2.
Well, you can still get your hands inside the ball and pull it. But if you do get your hands inside the ball and turn on it, it's going to stay fair. It's not going to hook. That one was just too far in.
Don't want to walk anybody in front of Paul Goldschmidt. Pitch of decision for Tyler Clippard here.
See what they do.
Dangerous man on deck and a full count.
So one sign went with the fastball away.
And a 3-2 got him. Challenging Prado, who has not hit a home run this year. Tyler Clippard, 2 Ks. Top of the order. It'll be Denard Span, followed by Anthony. Ball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by your local D.C. area Land Rover retailers. Visit DCAreaLandRover.com for special lease and finance officer. Well, it's actually offers. I saw him and I'm thinking officer. We salute you, young man.
That's Spanky from Fairfax.
Nicely done. And the whole gang waiting for him to come back.
Yeah.
When the Nats go deep, and Worth did it today, $250 to the Children's National Medical Center. So a whole bunch of them, 40 on the year for the Nats, fourth most in the National League, thanks to our Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers. Brad Ziegler was nasty on Monday. Let's see how he is on Wednesday. Denard Span 0 for 4 career against him. That's right in there at the knees.
A fastball slider change from down under from Ziegler. He owns a 19-game scoreless streak. That's 18 and third innings pitched, the longest active streak in Major League Baseball.
Struck out Ramos and Desmond 8th inning the other night in an 11-pitch inning with 8 strikes. He had grounded out Worth right before that. So interesting, the home team saves their closer, even though now he can't get a save. And Denard Span took a big swing right there, 1 and 2. 3 for 12 in the series.
Just looking for that consistency. The big game and then a couple tough games and then a good game. If Denard Span can get locked in, I'm not talking about base hits, I'm talking about getting on base. That's how the Nats win in the absence of all their big guns.
Frisbee way inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But 287 on base percentage coming into today. I'm sure Denard will tell you it's got to be better than that. His job is to get on and raise a little heck and score some runs.
.342 is his on-base percentage last year. The Nats came into this game as a team at .316. Way inside on Span, 3 and 2.
Huge pitch coming. Huge.
Might have been ball 4, but that's close enough. You got to be swinging.
Absolutely.
Span has grounded out all 4 times in his career when he's faced this right-hander. Need one of those to get through somewhere. And that one back by the on-deck circle. He stays alive on 3 and 2.
Denard's kind of got that casting his hands around the baseball swing going right now. He gets in those ruts to where he pulls everything. When he gets his hands inside the ball and thinks middle the other way, that's when he's a tough out. Right now he's kind of coming around it. He's fighting to get his hands in the slot, a lot like Martin Prado was in the middle of his at-bat.
And that bouncer will stay foul.
You just see how he's coming around. So as a hitter, you don't want to cast your hands out because it makes your swing longer. You come around the baseball. You want your hands inside the ball, but watch Denard's first move right here, kind of drifting forward, and then his hands go out instead of kind of right toward the pitcher's feet. They're actually kind of going toward third base first, and you come around the baseball. When he's locked, his hands are inside, and he's going right back up the box.
You know, this guy will have you fouling some pitches off your body.
Well, regardless of where his hands are, he's fighting right now. That's all you can ask. Check out this sequence. 10th pitch coming. Denard Span fighting to get aboard here in the 9th inning.
1-1 ball game. D-backs are running the 4th. Worth tied it leading off the 7th. 1-4 road trip. The Nats trying to win a series here. That will help. What a great at bat by Denard Span. He's aboard leading off the 9th.
10-pitch battle won by Span. Game on. And they like it. Mike Rizzo, his father Phil, right there on the on the right-hand side with the light blue shirt on. So I'm going with Rally Rizzos right now. How about that?
Phil's told me yesterday, he said, win ball games, you got to swing the bat. Well, he appreciates what Denard Span just did right there.
I'll tell you what, I could talk baseball with him all day long, as old school as they come, a baseball lifer that absolutely has this team pegged to a T. Watches every single night, sees every single ball game, and it's nice to see father and son at the ballpark, no matter if you're the boss or not. It's great.
Yeah, Dad lives here. He'll be heading to Chicago as soon as he knows the weather's going to stay warm.
I'll tell you what, Paul Goldschmidt right there started charging early for the bunt. Denard Span could steal second. He vacated early. That's why Ziegler stepped off. First baseman leaves his premises. Leaves the premises. You can take off.
Span 4 for 4 running. And Rendon didn't show any sign of turning and looking for a bunt. Rendon against Ziegler, 0 for 2.
Let's turn into a chess match now. Pupil against the teacher. Kirk Gibson versus Matt Williams. Matt Williams flashes the signs to Bob Henley at third. Bob Henley flashes the signs to the runner and the hitter.
Rendon hits it hard to right. Going back, Parra. It's over his head. Short hops the wall. Span heading for third. Throw coming in. It'll be second and third with nobody out. And there's the Anthony Rendon we've been watching most of this season.
Oh, just a great piece of hitting right there. And you saw the route that Parra took. I thought it was over his head immediately. Just a one-handed swing, but it had the sound. Let's listen to it. And then Parra, one of the best defenders in baseball, really nothing he could do about that. Just simply hit over his head. Denard Span had to wait and see. You see the read by Span with the double flaps going on, the pockets out. And Bob Henley had to hold him at third base with nobody out. Game on for the Nats, and Brad Ziegler up against it. And there they are, the Rally Rizzos. They're working so far. I'm sure the boss is going to be thrilled that I did that, but hey, he'll do anything for a win. He doesn't care.
Hey, scouts, they sit in seats on the road, not in suites.
Yeah, that's what I like about Mike. He's always on the road. He's always with the ball club. He sits in the stands every night. He's not in a luxury suite anywhere. That's what he grew up doing, watching baseball, evaluating. He's always in a seat on the road. And I think that's big for your general manager to be around all the time. As a player, you don't have to worry when all of a sudden he is.
Wouldn't you love to hear that conversation right now? Jason Worth. They're going to walk him and load the bases and face Ian Desmond.
Oh, he could almost hit that. I think he's saying right now, I think I could have hit that. Look at it. He just got on the plate a little bit more. You see that? Mm-hmm. He just got on the plate. He's even inching even more.
Smelling a sac fly here or a double.
Well, you can tell that Ziegler's not comfortable with it. And yeah. Why not be ready for a lollipop if it's, 6-7 inches outside?
That's the first one where Ziegler actually hit his target.
Yeah.
Bases loaded, nobody out. Ian Desmond, the hitter. 0 for 3 career against Ziegler, who struck him out here Monday night.
And this is where Ian has to realize that Ziegler is the one up against it, not him. Be patient. Look for something elevated. You can drive to the big part of the ballpark. Get him in the strike zone. Deep breath. Do your thing. Very easy to say up here.
Desmond 1 for 3 today. 2 for 10 with a walk in the series. And looking for RBI number 21 or more. Great batting average with the sacks loaded. Infield in. Ballpark quiet. And a ball ripped into left field. Span scores. Here comes Rendon. He is safe. And the Nats lead 3-1. Ian Desmond. Triple last night. Homer Monday, and he drives in 2 on Wednesday afternoon.
But he's back. It's official right there. Game on the line, 9th inning, 1-1 ball game. First pitch from Ziegler, got it right where he wanted to, elevated out over the plate. So the 19-game scoreless streak broke. The 18-3 scoreless streak broke, and the Nats take the lead 3-1 here in the 9th. And how clutch was that, Ian Desmond? Rally, Rizzos.
And you're talking about the tremendous streak Ziegler had coming into this game.
Should have showed them earlier to relax me a little more up here.
Like Monday? Here's Espinoza. Danny 0 for 3. And again, Ziegler 0 for 3 career.
Ian Desmond takes those walks personal. When you walk somebody in front of him, I've talked to him about this before. He doesn't care if you walk Babe Ruth in front of him. He's got a little edge when he walks up there, and most big league players do. You almost have to take it personally. Like, really, you think you can get me out more than you can get him out? You have to have that chip on your shoulder when you walk in a situation like that. If you don't, you shouldn't be here.
Espinoza. Right now, the Diamondbacks have Danny swinging at everything. 2 strikeouts, a ground ball today.
Still a good situation to bunt, not with 2 strikes now, but early in the count it was.
Interesting series. 2 times the back end of the D-backs bullpen failed. The only time they didn't is when their starter pitched a complete game. 0-2 pitch. Well outside. Ian Desmond this year with the bases loaded now. 4 for 4. He's driven in 9 runs. Espinoza right side, well placed. Aaron Hill again.
Goodness.
Arrest that man. He's been stealing all afternoon. Espinoza, though, with a good at-bat, advances both runners.
Yeah, productive out by Danny right there in a 2-strike count. Does a nice job of putting in play, but how about Aaron Hill today? And he's playing right out of his uniform. A solo home run, a couple of web gems at second base, doing it all. And now it's decision time for Kirk Gibson. Is he going to pitch to Tyler Moore? You would think he would with the sidearm guy against a right-hander.
Left-hander on deck, Lobaton. Yeah. So Tyler Moore in a big spot to possibly put this one out of reach. Outside. Tyler 0 for 1 career against Ziegler. Well, they went with their right-hander here instead of their closer, and I'm sure everybody thought they were doing the right thing based on recent results. Reed's been hit hard. Ziegler's been untouchable. But that leadoff walk to Denard Span really changed this inning.
Great at-bat by Span. And that scoreless inning streak, I mean, you knew it had to end sometime.
Tyler Moore up the middle, and that's 2 more. Coming home, Worth coming home. Desmond, the Nats lead 5-1.
Just as big right there by Tyler Moore. Give Danny Espinoza half an assist to put the ball in play with 2 strikes. He's been scuffling to put it in play. He does a nice job of advancing the runners. And Tyler Moore capitalizing on the productive out. Puts his ball club up by 4 runs. So a 4-run 9th and counting for the Nats. T-Mo coming through big time.
Ziegler, perfect lately, retires 1 out of 6 hitters. The Nats have plated 4. 2 RBIs for Moore and Desmond. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Well, it's not like us to wear anything out, is it? The rally, Rizzo, is good for a 4-run ninth and counting. Mike on the left, Father Phil on the right. And they forgot more baseball in that little 2 sentences I just said than a lot of us will ever know in our whole life.
This is Oliver Perez. Been around for a long time. Broke in with the Padres back in '02. Stops in Pittsburgh, the Mets, and Seattle the last couple of years.
2 pitches, fastball 91, slider 79.
Jose Lobaton 0 for 2 career against him. Still only 1 out. Tyler Moore at first base. And that ball is rocked out to center. It is caught by A.J. Pollock to his right. And these guys are showing some glove work in this series.
I'll tell you what, and they're appealing second base. And did Tyler Moore not retouch? Did he go across the base? I don't know what they're doing here. They touched second. Now they threw to first. They're tagging Tyler Moore.
He's been called out. He's been called out by Vic Carapazza. And the only thing that could have happened is if Tyler Moore went beyond the bag and then didn't touch it on the way back.
Oh, this is reviewable.
But nobody's going anywhere.
It's reviewable. You could hear somebody saying the ruling on the field is a double play. Let's take a look at it. I was watching the great play. I was about to say in the 3-game series.
He didn't go anywhere near second base.
So
now
catch?
They're saying the ball was trapped and it's a double play?
I'm thoroughly confused.
The key to that would be, what did Adam Hamari call when Pollock got this baseball? I mean, that's a catch.
The catch all the way.
It's a clean catch. And Tyler Moore should be allowed back to first base. So if that's up for review, that'll be pretty obvious.
So he doesn't get to first?
Well, if Lobaton's out, he doesn't have to touch anything. From what we saw, batter obviously out. And Tyler Moore has every right to get back to that bag. I mean, the fans are cheering because they just saw Pollock make a great catch.
Yeah. Tyler Moore went back to first, and
I mean, something like this shouldn't take very long.
Well, lost in all of this, the Diamondbacks have played the best defense I've seen all season long in these 3 games. Unbelievable plays by Pollock in center, Owens at short, Hill at second. And if I'm missing somebody, I apologize, but the defense they've played here has been as good as I've seen in a long time in 3 games.
Jose Lobaton absolutely crushed that ball. I don't know if there's a communication issue down there. Crew chief Bill Miller. And looks like Vic Carapazza, the first base umpire, on headsets. And we should get a 1-out safe sign here.
It's a catch, Matty. We're going to leave him at first base.
Yeah, batter's out. Tyler Moore stays at first base.
You could hear him, right? That's a catch, Matty, and we're going to leave him at first base.
Well, the crowd gave it away. They did not do a great job of fooling the umpires. I mean, they showed it on the screen, and the crowd reacted to a great catch by A.J. Pollock. So 2 outs. Nate McLouth, the hitter. And I'm not sure why Vic Carapazza gave an out sign at first base.
I'm not really sure what just happened or what town we're in right now.
Here's Nate McLouth in Phoenix, batting for the 4th time today.
Thanks.
Breaking ball outside. McLouth 1 for 9 with 2 walks career against Oliver Perez.
So the ruling on the field was a drop, and Lobaton didn't touch first. So that was the double play, and they tagged Tyler Moore.
Well, that's what they were claiming. Then they realized it was a clean catch, and it doesn't matter what Lobaton does.
I guess
as long as he doesn't pass up Tyler Moore.
I guess I'm confused because how do you miss that? I mean, we could see it from here. He was there. I mean, you could see he caught it. It wasn't that tough a call.
Adam Hamari, the second base umpire, is on the infield grass because there's a runner at first where he should be. And he didn't get out into the outfield at all. to make that call. So I'm not sure what he called when Pollock got to the ball. Obvious catch. 2-1 to Nate McLouth. And McLouth will rip one up the middle, and finally a ball that Aaron Hill cannot get to.
And that's news.
Tyler Moore stops at second. 4 hits in the inning, around 2 walks.
Just an example, we talked about it earlier. McLouth reached in the 6th inning, hitting a ground ball to short. And you say, well, FP, why are you getting so excited about ground ball to short? Well, you can tell his swing is coming. He's getting on top of the baseball. And Nate's a guy that has pull side pop, but has hit a lot of fly ball outs to left field so far this year. So the fact that he's getting over the baseball is a good sign. Checks in with a knock in his last at bat. Nicely done.
Scott Hairston will hit for Tyler Clippard. And Scott was here for the first 4 years of his big league career, 04 through 07. Breaking ball in there. He was drafted by Arizona in the 3rd round in 01 out of Central Arizona Junior College. Low and inside. Nats 4 runs in the 9th. Non-safe situation for Soriano, but there's a day off tomorrow before the Mets come in. So Matt Williams wants his closer to come in here and shut the door no matter what the score is.
What if you have bases loaded right there and he calls no catch and you have runners crossing paths and one's going back and one's crossing and you got all kinds of, I mean, how do you just reset it and say it's a catch and put everybody back?
I guess.
That's where I'm confused. I mean, I know what happened. I saw it.
Yeah. You know, if you have a runner at third, did he tag? Did he not?
Yeah. You pass a runner, is that an out? Like,
I just hope, and we've talked about this before, I hope this doesn't turn into football where it appears guys are afraid to make calls because, well, it's going to be reviewed anyway. It just seems to me at the end of some football games, you just wait for the replay. And I hope we don't get to that point.
It's been a while since we've had one.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Hairston pops it up. Goldschmidt. In the 9th inning, 9 Nationals bat. Span started it with a wonderful AB. Rendon's double set it all up. They walked Worth to load the bases. Ian Desmond drove in 2. And then after that, Tyler Moore would do the same. And the Nats lead 5-1. Pfister today, and plenty for you guys to talk about, but 3 outs to get for the Nats to win this series. Don't forget about the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. Thursday, day off tomorrow, but the guys will have some baseball for you for 2 hours from 5 to 7 p.m. Rafael Soriano came in ninth inning after the home runs on Monday night. Gave up a couple of hits. Got a big double play ball on Eric Chavez, and that got him his 8th save of the year. No save at stake here, just a ball game and a series win. Goldschmidt, the first man up. 1 for 4 career against the Nats right-hander. That thing looked like it was right on the edge, and he didn't get the call. Ball 1. Lifted to center. Might have broken his bat. Denard Span, 1 out.
Just enough movement to get it off the barrel on the end. Big out.
Next up, Miguel Montero. 2 for 3 career with a walk against Soriano. Braves now trailing by 3 in the 6th at San Francisco. Good day to grab a ball game, get out of town, and get back home. Slider, strike 1. Phillies lost today to the Angels. Mets, Yankees tonight. And Miami continuing its road struggles at Dodger Stadium. Fastball. That one scorched to center, and that'll fall in front of Denard Span. Diamondbacks need a couple more base runners. And here comes Aaron Hill. Single, homer, double play ball.
And a good uni.
And again, Soriano career 1 for 5. First pitch, front door slider.
You know, I like that pitch. I don't think enough pitchers throw the front door slider. It's always backdoor slider. You start it on the outer half, break it off. The one that starts right at you, it'll lock up some righties. But you don't see it very often in the game anymore. Guys are scared that it's going to run right back over the plate and get hit out of the ballpark. But if it's well placed, it's effective.
Goes with a fastball. Hill late for it. And a slider. Hits the mound. Hugs the ground. Desmond. Game over on a 6-3 double play. Tyler Clippard wins both games. The Nats win on this road trip. And Soriano takes care of business in the 9th after another dramatic late rally.
Well, that's what they do. They battle, they fight, they stick around the whole game, and they find a way to pull it out. A huge win, a step back from the ledge win, if you will. I know a lot of fans worried about today, so you have a good win, you get on the plane, you go home, have a nice off day, and come out firing against the Mets in your white unis. And a nice return to Arizona for Matt Williams, 2 out of 3 against his old club. That was a big win today, folks.
The Nats now home for the next 2.5 out of 3 weeks. So from the Valley of the Sun to D.C., Doug Fister was great today. The bats came alive at the right time, late as usual. Join us Friday. The Mets are coming. Nats Extra 6:30 from Arizona. This has been a Masson presentation. Johnny and Ray straight ahead and from Chase Field. See you later.